The Untamed, 陈情令, has finished airing in China for some people. So this is like the final review. Hi, you're watching Avenue X, where a junkie on good storytelling shares her thoughts, knowledge, and occasional weird ideas on stories and how they're told. This is my sort of second review video on The Untamed. Usually on my channel, one drama would get like one video. If it's a first impression, it happens somewhere while it's still airing. If it's a final thing, it's kind of like I finished the whole thing and I want to talk about it. And when you get more than one video, that means I've paid a little bit or quite a lot of extra attention to a drama. And so this year, the first drama that managed to do this is The Untamed, 陈情令. So on August the 7th, the last 6 episodes got aired. If you have money. So if you pay them extra money, basically, you can see the ending before sort of the normal airing schedule. I did pay the money because I would be traveling actually next week, and I'm guessing my schedule would be very, very unreliable. So I wasn't sure if I would have time to actually watch this drama as it comes out. That's why I went to watch it. Paid how much? It's like $5 extra? Yeah. So it's not quite a lot, but actually for the show, I think they would easily have over 3 million people wanting to pay extra money to see the last 6 episodes 1 week earlier, which means they've pocketed probably close to 100 million RMB by just doing this. I mean, Tencent is a master merchant. I mean, whatever you want to call it, they're really good at getting money out of your pocket. I know this drama is quite popular. By data, it is the most popular drama right now in China, and also I think internationally. It is one of the sort of most popular drama that comes from China this year so far. And I'm kind of not surprised. So in this review, I want to talk about first a couple of things that I think this drama is lacking in, or if they've done a better job, this drama could be much better. Then I'm gonna talk about the good things about this drama, or what I think made it successful. So the things that I'm not happy with about this drama mostly comes from the technical aspects, especially in the visual department, by which I would mean camera work, also post-production grading, stuff related to basically what it looks like lighting and also CG. Now, I think they really don't have a lot of money. This drama is 50 episodes long, and their budget is about 140 million RMB, which equals to about 20 million US dollars for the whole thing. So it's really dirt cheap when it's a period drama, because period drama usually costs much more. If you break it down to each episode, it will cost about 2.8 million RMB. In today's money, it really is cheap. So it kind of shows in terms of their prop, there's like, if you want to look at the details of things, right, you can't really get away with the very rough quality that shows up on screen. But even with that, if you're good at lighting, you can kind of hide a lot of imperfections. But in this drama, the lighting is just like borderlining, not passing, like not getting an C grade with me. It could be that they really wanted to have this style, which is a very bright style. The color is not moody. It's not like Longest Day in Chang'an. That's a very cinematic, very rich contrast, the rich color lighting. They want to go for the xianxia style. Often you see very bright color. People are very brightly lit. But if your props are not very well made, when you have that type of lighting, it tends to show like things are not that well done. Lighting is just not flattering to people, even to like actors who are, you know, like really good looking. Certain lighting is just like either making them look super dark or just make them look green, or the angle and things just like not ideal. Then the camera work has this problem of Again, I have the feeling that the person is sitting in front of the monitor and deciding, like, this shot, how we're gonna frame it. Is not a very naturally sensitive person to composition in frame. When you do a lot of photography or when you watch a lot of dramas or films, like, you'll notice that there are people who knows what they're doing or who are super highly sensitive. So when they frame anything, they know what to do. Like maybe just move it down 2 centimeters, move it left 2 centimeters, it will look much better. But they just don't do it. So you get a lot of framing in this drama that are like, can you just move that a little bit? Because it's a little bit awkward. Like there's so many awkward framing. And not to mention, like once the camera starts to move, often you feel like it doesn't quite know what it's doing. It doesn't quite have an intention of what I want to do. I'm just moving around and we'll see what we catch and we'll do it in editing. And also in the editing, there are just a lot of sequences are made in a way that doesn't help you understand what is going on. Especially the big scene, the 不夜天 fight, the fight immediately before Wei Wuxian's first lifetime ended, the fight where his 姐姐, 师姐, right, dies. And that fight was just filmed in such a bad way, the angles, the framing choices, and the editing, like which shot follows which and why. Like when this is happening, are we gonna use a wide, are we gonna use a close-up, how we're gonna do it, how if we're gonna move the camera, how we're gonna move it. It's like they don't have a plan, or they don't really know how they want to push the story forward with their camera work. Now if you compare it to the next door neighbor, Longest Day in Chang'an, if we talk about nothing else, just the camera work, that show knows so much more about what it wants to do with its camera. So this part of the drama just makes me go, like you've got a script that's pretty well written, that's very authentic to the original material. You've got a cast that's really working, like you're almost there. If you do your technical job really well, it would be so much better. It's a pity. There are so many technical problems with this drama. The CG, often you don't see, like it doesn't fit into what they've filmed. It looks so fake. It's not done well, like atmosphere-wise or even sometimes perspective-wise. Then there's one thing that I noticed. I don't know if you guys noticed. I watched everything on Tencent's streaming site. Basically, within many episodes, you will have this sudden flicker of brightness and contrast, and it's not like in different shots, so it doesn't happen in another shot, like you cut to another angle and it's a different contrast. It's within the same shot. While for example it's a 2 shot and 2 people are talking, and while they're talking, suddenly the brightness and the contrast would change and flick to a different level. And it happened so many times in so many episodes. It got me like just I was like, if your computers have bugs, while you export things, you should have noticed that. Or I don't know, like what happened with their encoding or decoding. It just shouldn't happen, like it shouldn't happen. This is too amateur. Either they're so rushed that they have no time to just go through their stuff, or I don't know. I can't find excuses for them. I don't know what really happened. I just feel that is very annoying and it shouldn't happen for a proper, like real production, right? It's not like I do it in my garage. It probably has more to do with the skills and the abilities of the people who are doing the job than, say, money. So that's pretty much my biggest complaint about this drama. This doesn't mean it doesn't have problems with other things, but I can kind of forgive the other sort of imperfections or things that needs to be improved, because the good thing about this drama is very obvious and it kind of stands out, which is the good part I want to talk about. I think it mainly comes from 2 things. One is the acting. The other is the script writing, in terms of being able to stick very close to the original material, but kind of avoid all its traps and pitfalls and problems, and at the same time almost like transcends it to a level that's actually higher than the original material. So first I want to talk about the acting. Like I said in the first video, the first couple of episodes I really just don't feel either of the lead actors are doing the best job. As the story continues, very quickly, I think after episode 12, 13, you start to understand like they are the perfect choice. And as time goes on, they just start to get better and better. So very quickly they become the embodiment of the characters that you see in the book. So I have to give this to the two actors. Neither of them is professional actor. They never went to acting school. Xiao Zhan used to be what we call normal people, right? He studied like design. So basically studied the same thing as I did. And then he actually worked in design offices, design logos before he kind of got into entertainment business and started become a singer, not an actor, and now acting. So his trajectory is very interesting. And completely opposite, Wang Yingbo, even though he's only 22 this year, he started his career when he was like 13. He went to Korea to get trained. He was mostly known for being a very good dancer. So they have like completely different background, but neither of them is trained as actor. So obviously I understand how this drama, when it was filming last year, a lot of people were not looking forward to it, or were saying bad things about it before they even see it, because they just don't see how it could be possible that these two can do a good job. And I love the fact that it's actually 打脸. Face slapping is now everybody is like, yeah, right, we said stupid things before, we underestimated them. I think both of them did the best job they could possibly do and exceeded people's expectation. Xiao Zhan is very good at playing those extremely strong emotional moments, like the desperation, the sadness, the really heartbreaking part of his character. All those big moments were done just like so well. All the tragedy really of this drama mostly rides on his character, and I think he did all those parts extremely well. Kind of the opposite is Wang Yingbo's character, who the difficulty of his character lies in the fact that he really is written as a character in the book who just doesn't show what he feels at all. Like only his brother can tell, because his face looks the same to everybody at all times. only the brother knows what he's thinking. So if you overdo it, right, too emotional, it would kind of not be the character. But within his restraint, he did the best he could, and the sort of silently showing emotion does work in the sort of after, like I said, episode 13, you see more and more of extremely subtle emotion coming through with very little effort. This young man does have some natural talent that people didn't expect him to have. And I actually really look forward to his future on-screen work. Probably, though, he needs a really good director, and he needs a really good opponent to be able to do that, and probably, really well-written script. But his Lan Wangji is very well done. And because of his dancing skill, he's trained, like a muscle is really well trained. He fights very well on screen, because it's super hard when you're dressed in like those 5 layers of long sleeves and with wires, and trying to control how you look, your posture in midair, where you just don't have anything to rely on. That requires extreme core strength, and he does fighting so well, so beautifully on screen. That just adds so much to his character, because he needs to be that type of person as you read from the book. So I have no complaint about these two leads. I think they're just perfect. I can't even imagine this drama being acted by other people other than these two. But apart from their lead acting, the supporting roles are also very well casted. They're not all very good at acting. Like you can tell, for example, Wang Zhuocheng, his acting shows a lot of acting. Like he's trying very hard. The actor who played Xue Yang, who is in the original book, a very, very interesting character. If you can do him well, like his story, his little subplot line within the big plot line, the sort of zombie town plot line, is one of the most heartbreaking plot line in the original book. But very sadly, that whole group of actors who are responsible for that part are not the best actors. So their skills kind of reduced the emotional impact that story could have had. But still, these people, you can tell, like, they try their best. They really love their character. They really put 100% in. It's not the best that could be, but I wouldn't blame them. I still love these young actors, and I think I should applaud for their effort. Because filming this drama seemed to be an absolute nightmare. It was the hottest time, middle of summer. As I understand period drama filming, when you are out there on location in the mountain with mosquitoes and no good toilet facility, and you're wearing wig, especially for guys, for like 16 hours a day, and standing in the midday like sunlight, wearing 5 layers, right? If you can like manage not faint, and it's already like a feat. And not to mention you have to act, and sometimes act huge emotional scenes. So nobody had an easy time making this drama, and for the result that they've got, I think they should all be very proud. Now, after the acting part, I think what makes this drama really successful is sticking to the original material closely and being able to change it or transcend it. Although there is a small everybody knows story that this drama almost didn't end up the way it is. If you're not familiar with it, very quick recap. Try not to make this channel a rumor town, but basically July last year, it got leaked. Like, some of its filming sequences got leaked. Like, people were on set and filming with their phone. Basically, this one particular female character, I'm not gonna name here, who was very, very small in the original material, should also be a very small role in the drama, kind of got too much attention, or her plotline get expanded too much, almost making her the sort of female lead role. That is completely different from the book, and that destroys the central core relationship between Wei Wuxian and Lan Wangji. And that got leaked. And thanks to all the original book fan, that Weibo post got over 370,000 comments. Like, people bombarded it and screamed and said all the horrible things to this production. Basically, if you're gonna do this, we're not gonna watch it. We're gonna boycott this show, and we'll make sure nobody watches your show. Your show is gonna be a failure, that's it. Because of this really extreme reaction, the production managed finally to convince itself, I guess, to cut out her extra scenes, cut out her extra plot lines, sticking to the original script, which is very close to the original book. So now what we end up with is very close to the book, and she is not inflated. If that happened, right, this drama would be the biggest failure of any IP adaptation ever, I can guarantee you, because people would just kill the production company. I don't know, like, it's gonna be... Maybe in an alternative universe and a parallel universe this happened, and I feel very sorry for all the people living there. Anyway, so talking about sticking to the original material, even though it had this episode that almost destroyed the thing, it didn't happen. Finally, you get something that's so close to the original material that it actually surprised a lot of people, because so many actual lines are verbatim to the original writing. There are things as the novel reader, because I read a novel after the show aired just to see what happened, and there are scenes, right, that are very important to the fans, that are like the important moments, and everybody said there's no way that they're gonna film this because this is not gonna pass censorship. It did happen. It happened on screen, and they sort of stepped on the line. Like, if they just step over another toe, they're gonna get censored and cut. They just went to the very limit of what can go on screen. I think that made people almost grateful for the production to be able to do that. I think that added people's response to this drama. It's like, we didn't see it coming, and we're so grateful for it to happen. The other thing about adapting this original material is, because it was a web novel, and web novel were like daily updated by the writer, and there's this need to keep creating things that will get people back. So when it comes to very obvious flirting or very obvious emotional, romantic, sometimes even like, porn-like scenes, the writing is much more willing to go there, to go to those extreme places. Not to say the original web novel is very explicit. It's not explicit, anyway. But still, it's kind of clear and obvious about where it's going, certain chapters. Let's say if the censorship problem does not exist and this drama is allowed to film BL, very clear on-screen homosexual content, it almost would have destroyed this drama, because this drama set up a very idealistic foundation of the main character's belief in the world. I think the most important quality of those two lead characters is they do not bend to the world's views on them and on what is right or wrong. They decide what is right or wrong, even though if the world is against them, and they stick to it. They stick to it in different ways, but they're both extremely stubborn people who would not give up their principle. And these are like really high sort of transcendental themes about good and evil, right or wrong, black and white, about the crowd's cruelty, right, to an individual. All these things are actually happening every day. Like, think about online bullying, because the writer got bullied a lot as well. And when you look at what happened to Wei Wuxian's first lifetime and what he said sort of before the big fight, it's almost, you can transpose that to any people who got bullied on internet, and it would work. And it talks a lot about those things that are irrelevant to romantic love or anything. It is the heavier and the bigger things in life. So I understand why this drama didn't go, it hinted at all those romantic flirting things, but it never passed the line, because if it did, it would have kind of destroyed the high level mindset that they've set themselves up to. And the drama managed to keep that until the very end. So the ending, without spoiling it, I think you still call it a happy ending as the book would have it. But it treats it with its visual language in a way that is very subtle, that is less obvious, not in your face. It's not the type of writing that will stick the spoon in your mouth and feed it to you. It leaves in space for you to breathe and then to imagine. But you kind of know it's what it is and why they do it. And I actually love the way they did the last scene. For all the people online who said I don't get it, or they're not satisfied, they actually want to see the really traditional happy, happily ever after two people, somehow living somewhere happily. I'm like, that's just two. If they did it, it would be in your face. It would actually not fit into the general tone of this drama. They've already done all the pavings, to get to the final place, and think they ended it in the best way they could. And I actually love how the drama, the last shot, is done. So the final thing that I want to say about this is, it is very reasonable that this drama becomes the most popular drama of 2019 summer. It has a lot of flaws, and it angers certain old-fashioned people because they just can't see why a BL novel-based drama can get that much attention and can be that well accepted. It basically is, I think, the highest rate-jumping drama ever in Douban's history, which is China's IMDb. Basically, when the drama first aired, it only scored 4.9. Now it's over 7.6. And I think over 360,000 people rated or commented, which is the highest number of rating or comments in this website's history for any drama or film. And that just shows how many people are watching and interested and love it and want to give it attention and money. So when that happens, clever people should go and analyze why, why it's successful. If we're gonna do next big IP what can we learn from this? Obviously, this makes me think of Guardian. Think of how sad it is that it got such a bad script. It's so not sticking to the original material. Had it not been for the two actors' brilliant acting, yeah, it would be a complete failure. And then you think, what if, right? What if they had a script that's well written, even it has things changed, it sticks to the soul of the original material, or if they could be allowed to do things that are closer to the book. That if they had a better script and a little bit more money, how much better would Guardian be, right? Like, when you think about that, you go, it's like, see, you know, like when you adapt from a BL novel, you can make it successful. It could work. It could be a good drama. Excuses, like censorship is not your excuse to give us shit. Every time I see some really good scene from the book gets almost 100% made on screen in this drama, I would go, I need a drink. I'm like, I'm so sad it didn't happen to Guardian. But this is what it is, you know, like, can't change what's happened in the past. We can only look forward to the future. So I hope this drama within China's drama industry becomes a case study for everyone who come after, who wants to do a good adaptation of any themed, you know, like IP. Just what is the right way to do it, and learn from it, and give us better stuff to watch. Don't give us shit, because there's still a lot of shit dramas at the same time. And, you know, like, do a good job, you know. It's not no different from being a doctor or being a lawyer or being whatever, you know, like, do your job well. Drama people, do your job well. Do it properly. So that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching Avenue X. I'll see you in my next video. Hopefully by then I would be back in Canada. And live long and happy drama watching.